And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Try this shit better than all my intentions. Locked in shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated,
rip,
plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
They did it again. 18 of them. It's a bunch. They were the best team. They are the champions. And what a lot of suspense to it, was there? Didn't always have to be the best NBA championships or the best Super Bowl, but it was the best team. And I'm not ready to talk to you about dynasties yet. I am ready to talk to you about a champion. Good morning. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Celtics win the championship last night. How you living?
What it do?
All right. No suspense last night. And this was the team. And this is everything you said it was. You said they were in Dallas the other night. It looked like a team that was like, yeah, whatever. We just want to go home and win it at home in front of our fans. And they turned it on. They were 6.5-point favorites last night, and it was a steal. They win 106-88 to the Boston Celtics. The team who was the best in the NBA all season long lifts the trophy when it's all said and done. Jaylen Brown gets his MVP, 21 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists. Jason Tatum gets his championship and gets everybody off his back, I think. And that conversation that somebody, who did you tell me had that conversation last week, that what was the worst thing that could happen to Jason Tatum? If they lose or they win and he doesn't win MVP, which is just stupid. Who was that?
Oh, it was I think it's Speak for Yourself on Fox Sports 1. And by the way, that was not that far off from Jason Tatum being in the finals.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. And he didn't win it, and that's fine. Do you think that somehow diminishes him?
Not at all. And I think the Jason Tatum was overanalyzed ridiculously throughout the postseason. I think that Jaylen Brown is absolutely an all-NBA player, top 15 guy in the league. But it's not as big as a gap as people trying to make it the hot take. Jaylen Brown's their best player. Okay, he might be the most aggressive player, but Jason Tatum is the steady presence for that team. It works. They're the most talented team, and they cruised through the playoffs as the best team in the NBA.
Jason Tatum's been overanalyzed for the last 3, right? And he brought a little bit on himself when he said, I want to be the face of the NBA. He did. You don't think so? Okay is fine. Yeah. I agree with you. Okay. But yeah, I mean, it's like he brought a little bit out of himself. But yeah, I agree with you. Okay.
1-1 in the NBA Finals last 3 years.
Yep.
6 appearances in the Eastern Conference Finals in the last 8 seasons for that franchise. That is pretty damn good.
It's really damn good. And he is a really good player. Is he the face of the league? I don't know that he ever will be, and I don't know that he ever has to be. I don't even know what the face of the league means, man. Who's been the face of the league? I think it's such a moniker that we try to throw on someone, and that has to happen organically. Who's been the face of the league? Jerry West? Magic Johnson? Michael Jordan? Larry Bird? LeBron? Maybe Steph Curry? Who else been the face of the NBA in your lifetime? Who's been the face? I don't even know what it means.
It's been probably Kobe than LeBron.
Yeah, and Kobe.
I think it's the most recognizable crossover player.
Yeah. And before that, it was Mike. Before that, it was Magic and Bird, right? Man, so what? I don't damn if he's not the face of the league. He's the face of that team. And if he's the best player on that team, maybe he is, maybe he's not. You know what he is? An NBA champion. I do think Jaylen Brown is their best player, but that doesn't. I mean, I could be wrong. I watched a team that was the best team. I do know that. And you throw me some Derek White, you put some Drew Holiday on the side, and some Kristaps Porzingis, an Al Horford, Joe Mazzulla stirring it up. Ask those guys. Well, don't ask them right now; they might be hungover. But ask those guys if they give a damn who's the best player on their team.
They don't. And I think, and Jason Tatum, he made that known last night. Because when you look at between Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, if you watch basketball, I think they leaned toward Brown for his 30-point performance. And he had 24 in the second half of Game 3. And having the majority of time on Luka Doncic. Because guess who had the better numbers across the board in the series?
Flat out offensive numbers?
Jason Tatum.
Yeah, offense. Yeah, but
he had more rebounds, more assists.
Yeah, who's more impactful? And that's what you vote on. And I think that's debatable. You would have voted Tatum?
I think Brown, if you're looking for how do you differentiate it, and if it is like, hey, Brown had the most possessions guarding Luka Doncic, I give him credit for that because it allowed them to pretty much just suffocate everyone else. Because Luka went off
Good time.
in this series, like the whole series, but no one else could follow him.
So I would have voted Brown, and I'll tell you why. I'm not gonna. I didn't watch last night intensely close, nor did I watch the other game 4 intensely close. We were out last night. I had an event, but what'd you say? The most aggressive? Is that what you said? Called Jaylen Brown?
Yeah.
I think that's right. I to me, and so if I would have voted for most valuable when guys' numbers were this close, I would have decided in my mind who was the most impactful. Right? Who was the biggest difference maker? And I wouldn't have a problem. Can I preface this? And I guess it would be a post-fest because I already said it. By saying just because I would say Jaylen Brown would be my MVP doesn't mean I'm dissing Jason Tatum. Again, I go back to the old argument. Just because if you think LeBron's the GOAT doesn't mean you're dissing Michael Jordan and saying he stinks.
Like it's
right.
There's a reason this team is that good because of these players can play off each other. Tatum is a little bit more of the facilitator, which for some reason he takes a hit for that, but Luka Doncic doesn't. Like Luka scores and assists. Tatum does. He doesn't have the same scoring numbers. But people are like, "Oh, Tatum's not as aggressive."
You know
He's
why?
the facilitator for this team.
Because the Celtics team had bigger expectations in the broader landscape in basketball world, right? I mean, who was supposed to win this?
They backed it up.
Right.
They were the favorites,
and that's why they get more pressure. That's why Tatum gets more pressure than Luka. The Mavericks were a 5 seed. The Mavericks were, I mean, again, I don't think many people picked them to get through the West, let alone win the championship. And so that's why Jason Tatum, and because Jason Tatum's been close, that's why he gets that scrutiny, right? He's been to the final. He's supposed to be that guy. I think Luka's scrutiny is coming, don't you? I mean, I think Luka was scrutinized quite a bit during these finals.
Yeah, just defensive performance,
which
being in shape, but at some point in time, too, you have to take into account the guy, what he did being banged up and still playing at that level. I have zero issue with Luka Doncic. I think the Mavericks are in a really good position. When you look at the way the Boston Celtics are constructed, that's a lot of work for teams to do to try to run them down. But to be in this place, to your point, the Western Conference, where we overlooked Dallas, we liked the duo, and a lot of us thought they could be a second-round team.
Yeah.
But to come out of the Western Conference, they are in a great place right now.
I'm really struggling with all the Luka's out of shape, and I don't know. Are all these people who were screaming to me about will he put in the work? Does he put in the work? Look at his body, and he's a little doughy, and whatever it is. I mean, do they know his work ethic? Because it's hard for me, JJ, to sit here. I don't know if Luka Doncic is so damn good. Did he just get that good because he came out of the womb with talent? Or did he work on his game? I'm really, really, really struggling, and maybe I should listen to it more. But he doesn't put in the work. He's got to get in better shape. I don't know, man. Not everybody has a chiseled Adonis body.
He lasted this far. It's a lot of it is. I don't think a lot of it is factual. It's what Nikola Jokic went through. The
I think that's
first
a great
couple
example.
seasons. They're like, oh, this dude's not doing anything. It's like, oh,
He's out riding his horses in Serbia.
And I think it is a lot based off looks as opposed to anything real.
Yeah, I struggle, and I want to know what the facts are. Is he just sitting like from now until training camp? Is he just eating bonbons and not do anything? I don't know, man. That guy got to be pretty damn good, and I'm gonna guess it isn't all just because that's how God made it, right? I'm gonna guess he works pretty dang hard on his game. Well, look at him. Look at him. What, man? He played how many damn minutes every game? He played 40 plus minutes every night. He played 80 games during the regular season. There's enough to knock on him. I'm struggling on the he's not in shape and he doesn't work hard part. Let me give you phone numbers to get in today. 505-246-0610. 505-246-0610. That's the Sports Animals phone line and text line. Your email's jeff@sportsanimalabq.com. Robert, I almost said how you feeling, but I think I know. What's up, Robert?
Good morning, you guys. Good morning. I want to hit just a few things this morning. The MVP talk. As a Celtics guy, I really don't care. Honestly, Brown, Tatum, you can't go wrong. You can't even go wrong giving it to Luka. I mean, he did just great performances by all these gentlemen. Another thing I do want to talk about with the Celtics and the road that it was so easy, they're just that good. It looks that easy. That's all I really have to say about that. And I know this is off the thing a little bit. Caitlin Clark, just dye her hair blonde and blow up the whole WNBA. Good morning, gentlemen. How about them Celtics?
Enjoy it,
Woo!
man.
What you going to say now? What you going to say now?
Look at you, Jason.
Good morning. Good
what
morning.
they going to say now? Thanks, Robert. Celtics fan who's living it, man, and you should be living it. You should be living it. Who's the second thing? It was the MVP thing, and then there was Caitlin Clark, but there was something in the middle, and I had a thought on it. Anyway, I don't think they give a damn about it. Yeah, Luka would not have been the right pick because he's the most valuable player. He was good. He won the most valuable.
I think on it, if you do take a step back in for the egos of this team,
oh yeah,
for the Celtics,
yeah,
Jaylen Brown was bitter, not being an All NBA guy, which I'm fine with that.
And this
chip on his
almost
shoulder.
kind of is supposed to make it up.
He was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP,
Yeah.
NBA Finals MVP.
Yeah.
So Tatum could be like, he has multiple first team All NBA selections. Brown gets his MVPs.
What would you rather be? I mean, if you win the championship, because the answer is win the championship. So you both win the championship. What would you rather be? First team All NBA or NBA Finals?
So they
Finals
both.
MVP? What would you rather be?
It both works for them.
Well,
because with first team All NBA, you get more money.
It's you paid, right? That's the answer.
And you're still a champion. And your bro got his MVP trophies. You're good.
Yeah, no. If you got to pick one, you pick first team All NBA because you get more money, right? And you're still a champion. The other thing you said is the whole thing with the road was easy, blah blah blah. They're just that good. I'm going to give you some of that. Like I'm going to give him some of that. Now, two things can be true, and yeah, the road was easier, dude. Miami without Jimmy Butler wasn't very good. You got a Cleveland team that was young, and then 2 games without Donovan Mitchell, or 3 games without Donovan Mitchell. Their best player, they're absolutely pedestrian without Donovan Mitchell, and they fought their asses off. And then Indiana was nice, and then Tyrese Halliburton, their best player, got hurt. So you did have an easier road, but I'll give you that both things can be true. And maybe they are just that good, right? Because they got rid of the Mavericks in 5, and this thing was never in doubt. So yeah, maybe they are just that good. I'm not ready to talk dynasty yet, but I know many of you are, and we can go down that road. 505-246-0610. And a familiar name back on a bench in the NBA next year. It's been a minute. Kind of like the move. That's coming up next. Hey, for years, I've been telling you about IPS, offering standing guards, 24-hour patrols. They protect your home and business. You might not know that IPS also installs home alarms. They've been doing this for quite a while now, but they want to remind you, if you don't have an alarm, you are much more likely to be a victim of a break-in. IPS technology team also installs video cameras. They record criminals who vandalize or steal company and home property. Video can help the police in investigation, and when bad guys see a surveillance camera, it discourages criminal activity. And IPS can set up your business with access controls, so the only people authorized to get in are the only ones who get in your facility. Sign up and have IPS monitor your alarm and cameras, and when they see something or the alarm goes off, they're there within 7 minutes or less. IPS provides the manpower and technology to protect you, your family, and your property. It's a winning combination. Their phone number is 505-897-2420. 505-897-2420. They're online at ipsglobal.com. IPS is passionate about making Albuquerque and Santa Fe better and safer places to live in.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach. My teacher. My older sisters. My grandma. My brother. My tutor. My dad and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children.
I'm ready to talk dynasty with the Celtics. Some of you are. 505-246-0610. It's the opening drive. Jeff Escobedo, JJ Buck. Is this a team you see going on a run? 3 in 5 years, a couple of championships back to back. They've got 2 stars that are young. They're 26, 27 years old. The reason I say no is this is the 6th different franchise who's won the championship in the NBA in the last 6 years, and B, I just think there's so many good teams in the league, especially out west, and I got to believe the East is going to get stronger. I just think the gauntlet is harder every year, and I don't know that I believe yet that they're a super team, but I could be proven wrong.
This is a team that's going to have the opportunity because I expect them over the next 3 to 4 years to still be in multiple Eastern Conference Finals, right? To be in another NBA Finals. In terms of what it takes to be a dynasty, if we're talking about not just 3 titles over 5 to 6 years, I don't think Boston can do that just because of the rest of the league. So I'm right there with you. I don't think it's anything that they can't do, just what everyone else can do.
I think that's right. And again, it's no knock on them because I think they're built so well. I think Brad Stevens has done a great job and put together a great young core that he's going to spend a whole lot of money here in the office.
Well, all of their top 6 players. So if you look at Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday, Derek White, Kristaps Porzingis, you can even throw Al Horford in there, all under contract next year.
So the only one who's not is Derek White, and I heard he's looking at a 4-year, 100.
Well, he's extension eligible.
Yeah, and they're looking for 100.
So he's under contract, but they can also pay him a boatload more money.
So I mean, if you like what you see and think they're going to get better, then can they? Yeah, I think they can. I just think, to your point, the league is so balanced right now. There's so much other talent there that I don't know that it happens. They're going to lose. There's going to lose a piece. I don't know that a lot of people knew that Jeff Van Gundy had taken a role with Brad Stevens, the president of basketball operations himself. Now Jeff Van Gundy, the former Knicks coach, former television analyst, who I think is terrific on television, has agreed, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, to be the lead assistant for the LA Clippers. And I look at this, man, and I'm like, so there's a great hire first. Great hire. But there's a team across the hall that's looking for a head coach and has been looking for one for about 4 weeks. How good would Jeff Van Gundy have been as the Lakers head coach? Like, doesn't that... I'm expecting to hear J.J. Redick today, like I am, now that the season's over and J.J. Redick's not doing TV tomorrow. But with James Borrego, J.J. Redick, Dan Hurley, all the names passed around, have people just given up on Jeff Van Gundy as a head coach? Or because don't you think he'd have been really interesting with that roster to be able to go in and handle, work with LeBron and AD and his basketball mind?
I do think it's a fascinating name for at this point, Jeff Van Gundy with his experience, and that's what you're really looking for. A team like the Lakers is, you'd think that's what you're looking for, not necessarily a dude to come in and shake everything up, just to be a presence, to be a voice, because you're established with what you have. But at this point in time, it feels like it's pretty clear what they're doing.
Yeah, I know. I think that's right. Van Gundy's got a really good relationship with Ty Lue. He's the head coach, Ty Lue is, of the Clippers. And the franchise has long really liked Jeff Van Gundy. So he's been out of the NBA for a while, right? He was head coach of the Knicks, of the Rockets. And he was really good on TV. And he turned down head coaching opportunities in the NBA while he was on TV. He stayed active in coaching, though. He's active in scouting. He had different roles with USA Basketball. So I think it's a great move for the Clippers to add this basketball mind. I don't know if I think the Clippers are close, because I don't know if I think Kawhi Leonard's going to be playing enough to make the Clippers close. Does that make sense? If Paul George goes back and Kawhi Leonard plays and he's healthy, you go, wow, the Clippers are really good. But as much as I'm a big Kawhi Leonard guy,
it was nice. You tip your hat. You're like, all right, that was awesome. Kawhi Leonard played in the regular season, fantastic, and then postseason, where you at?
Yeah, when it really, really mattered. Drew and James, good morning. You're on the Sports Animal. Hi, James.
Good morning, guys.
What's happening?
How about Drew Holiday at Bruin?
Yeah.
And Bob Myers at Bruin? They both should got the MVP. We're just be on an ABC. But Drew Holiday played good, and I thought he should have got it. So, hey, guys have a good one. Go Bruins.
All right, later. A little biased. Drew Holiday should not have got the MVP, although he was very good. He was a big key to their success. Jaylen Brown got the MVP, and it was appropriate. It was right. But, all right, give it to my guy because he's a UCLA Bruin. All right, 505-246-0610. What's next? The draft is next, but we start to talk now. Where are we with unrestricted free agents and players who can become that? Explain the window now. What happens next in the NBA with guys like, I don't know, big names, Paul George, LeBron James, Tyrese Maxey. There's some big names out there, and today's a big day. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM, AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
Never in doubt over the Mavericks last night. Jason Tatum had 31 points, 8 rebounds, 11 assists. The MVP of the series, Jaylen Brown, 21, 8, and 6, as the Celtics win 4-1 and they raise their 18th banner. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck encourage your participation today at 505-246-0610, area code 505-246-0610, the Sports Animal phone line and our text line. Emails come in this morning, Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. We are on the X. It's, well, we being JJ, it's _ JJ Buck. And on the Facebook, you can watch the show, the OD in the AM. That is our Facebook page. Give us a like while you're there, and you can watch the show Adrian's producing on ProView Networks, Comcast Channel 26, and, of course, the YouTube channel for ProView Networks. All right, so, JJ, today they can start talking, theoretically, because they haven't been before. Any player who is set to become an unrestricted free agent this summer is now free to negotiate a contract with the team with whom they ended the season on the day after the NBA Finals end. So that's today. No deal can become official. They cannot sign a deal until the typical moratorium period ends. That's July 6th. So, JJ, this rule also applies to players who are eligible for contract extension. That's Donovan Mitchell, Derek Brown, Paul George, LeBron James, Tyrese Maxey. So we're going to start hearing Woj bombs. LeBron James and the Lakers have been talking, and he is staying. Paul George and the Clippers have been talking, but Paul George wants to explore other options when the full free agency period opens up on June 30th, right? So I don't know what to expect because, I mean, it's all speculation. However, I got to believe there's something on LeBron relative.
Yes, everything with LeBron's future, the coaching search for the Lakers, that news has to be dropping in the next few days. Some of the big names to watch, though, with this, Pascal Siakam, unrestricted free agent for the Pacers, what they were able to do after acquiring him and trying to keep that core together. So I think that's a name you're going to hear Indiana really quickly try to lock down so he doesn't hit free agency, because they have that ability to talk. But this is the time you start getting a sense of what is going to happen next, whether their players are going to accept their player option. I mean, because some of those guys I don't think are going anywhere. Tyrese Maxey,
I believe he stayed.
He's getting his contract extension in Philadelphia. I think LeBron James stays in Los Angeles. So Paul George and Klay Thompson are
Thompson's
interesting names.
Yeah, Klay Thompson and Paul George has been rumored a lot of places, whether it's Philly, Miami, hell, I mean Milwaukee. I've heard all kinds of things on Paul George. Klay Thompson, my guess is he's going somewhere.
Feels that way right now, because if you're the Warriors, you can't just give him hey, thanks for everything type of deal.
Can I just throw this at you? What are the Lakers?
Yeah, he could fit there.
I mean, a shooter off the bench, a veteran shooter off the bench.
Any playoff team, if you could afford Klay Thompson, because I know he's not going to get.
What does afford mean? It's what?
I think he's still going to
$25 million a year.
Demand a big contract, but I think it's one that, again, it's levels of playoff teams.
All right, Klay Thompson in relationship to Derek White, who just won a championship with the Celtics. I'm not asking you about age or going into their prime. Who's right? I understand Derek White's going into his prime and Klay Thompson's coming out of his. Are they equal value? Because I'm hearing Derek White 4 years, $126,000. Is that about the range? Now, I don't think Klay Thompson's getting 4 years. Do you? I think he's getting a 2, maybe 3 years.
They're not equal value now.
So you think Derek White's better?
Yes.
I think you might be right. Okay. So somewhere in the area then of probably 3 for about $80 million? Ish. Which is pretty damn good living.
It's going to be a wake-up call for Klay Thompson.
Maybe.
What do you mean? He's making $37 million right now.
All right. So, yeah, he's coming down.
So he has, as a 34-year-old player, he's going to realize his value is not what it was.
Yeah, I think he's got to know that too. Plus, 34-year-old and coming up, he's got two major reconstructions that kind of limit what he does. If you're you're so right on this. Like, who else he would fit? The Knicks. They got DiVincenzo as a shooter, but I just look at these teams that you need a piece, and he may come off the bench. I'll give you another one. Denver. You like him there?
Yes.
I mean, you got a shooter coming off the bench that's won championships. There's a lot of places he fits. He fits in Golden State. And if he decides he's going to take,
I don't know if he fits in Golden State anymore.
I don't think so.
Because it just comes down to what he is willing to accept. Is he willing to accept the team that he dominated with, being a part of Splash Brothers, that Steph Curry is still that guy on the floor,
Yep.
and he's not.
So I'm not asking, when I say he fits, I'm not talking about money-wise. So, because the assumption is, okay, I'm going to play for $20 million, right? Whatever.
I'm not talking about money.
Right, okay. So you don't think he fits there either, as a sixth guy coming off the bench?
Because there's so much. The Draymond piece, and
you think him and Draymond are done?
I think that wears on. If you look in, there's probably some frustration and some even a little bit of jealousy if you're Klay and you're like,
How'd that guy get it, right?
Like Dre got it, yet I'm here staring at free agency.
Yeah, and then Draymond laughing at him the other day. It could be that. Who else do you like on this list? Because there's a lot of names that you're going to look at. And I agree with you on LeBron. I think the first thing that's got to happen there is the head coach, right? And if we hear today or tomorrow, and I fully expect to, don't you, that JJ Redick's going to be the head coach? Then I believe the next thing is LeBron staying, and they're going to go draft Bronny something, because the draft is next week. For crying out loud, the Lakers got to figure something out. And if they've waited,
this is fascinating to me because it's the balance of, we love to. This is the NBA and sports fans, and we love to hire and fire coaches, but then you're like, well, what? If you can get this point in the offseason where you're ready to make giant roster decisions, you have the draft around the corner, and you're not worried about a head coach, then what is the
value?
What is the value of one of those guys?
Well, but
right
I think the value of a head coach is in most places.
But I think the difference is LeBron's
that's the
like presence, and like he's the continuity. However you feel, a team that LeBron James is going to be on is going to compete at some level.
Do you not believe right now? Because they're in draft prep, right? They have to be. The draft is next week. Rob Pelinka is out interviewing coaches, and JJ Redick and James Borrego and Courtney Dan Hurley. But they're also, I hope, going through their scouting department and putting their draft board together. The draft, let me tell you again, is next week. They don't have a coach. Do you believe LeBron James been on any of the conversations on drafting, scouting, draft boards? He'll tell you, no, I'm just doing TV, I'm out. But with no head coach, and LeBron James's kid in the draft. I mean,
he knows what's going on.
Sure he does. And they
he's
know
helping Bronny, and then he's looking at all these guys. So.
But did they consult him? Consult might not even be the right word, but it might be. Do they talk with him? I believe they do, because they're trying to keep him. Because there's a chance that he just says, you know what, you didn't even ask me. Then you don't go draft my kid and draft this guy. My kid's better. I'm out. Because he can bounce. At some point, he's got to commit, doesn't he? And I think he's staying. I don't think he wants to.
The Bronny piece obviously is fascinating, but I don't think that franchise right now being at 17 in the draft, like that's a spot where they're desperate. Like they have to have a head coach. Like they drafted a player at 17 last year and you have no idea who he is. So to me, it's no different.
Who was it?
Jalen Hood-Schifino out of Indiana.
Oh yeah.
So that's why I'm not freaking out about the Lakers right now. Like they have to have someone in. They have 17th pick. Like, that's not going to impact the Lakers next year.
It goes to your point about what's the coach worth, right? What's the value? What's the impact? Here you are a week out. 505-246-0610. By the way, Laker fan, who do you want? Who's your? Is it James Borrego? Or you just said, well, it's going to be JJ Redick, so what does it matter who you want? 505-246-0610. I got to believe we hear something here in the next day. When we come back, he's a wide receiver getting ready to get paid, or at least wanting to get paid. Came out publicly and said, yeah, but my team doesn't want me. I'm going to go somewhere else. It's the opening drive. Is that a good negotiating tactic? On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Hour.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Adventure is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh? I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom. Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom! Boom!
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here. And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay. We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field. 505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space. And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Animal. Kenny Thomas is scheduled to be with us at 9 o'clock. We'll keep it with Kenny, the former Lobo great, 11 years in the NBA, getting his thoughts on the NBA Finals. Certainly want his thoughts on the passing of Greg Brown, the former Lobo, who passed away on Friday. So we'll catch up with Kenny coming up here. That'll be at 9 o'clock this morning. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. All right, so this is the time of year where who's holding out, who needs more money, who wants more money, who's going to get paid in the NFL as we get ready for camps. JJ, I don't know about the negotiating, if it's a negotiating package. It's a good one. Brandon Ayuk is the receiver for the San Francisco 49ers who wants to get paid. He was on a post on TikTok, and there's a video where he is talking with his former Arizona State team, who is now the quarterback of the Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels with LSU. Yeah. First, they were both at Arizona State together, and then when Ayuk went to the NFL, and then Daniels with LSU. Yeah, there's. So Ayuk tells Jaden Daniels, it's the receiver telling the quarterback, they said they don't want me back. That's it. Daniels says. Daniels responds, that's it? I swear, Ayuk says. Daniels shouts, my boy. And Ayuk wrote in the caption, I'm laughing, but I'm crying. For real. So, JJ, I don't know what this was. He saying that they don't want him back for the season? They don't want him back beyond this season because they're not willing to meet his demands on what's a big extent? What is it?
Like, this is... He's creating an issue by posting this on social media and being vague about it. So he's poking the bear. And I think for San Francisco, the path forward to me would be, Ayuk gets his extension after this season. I know every player wants it now because you want that guaranteed money because anything could happen. You go out there, pop an Achilles, blow your knee out, and then boom, there goes your extension. But money-wise for San Francisco, makes more sense to be able to move off Deebo Samuel next year. Brock Purdy is going to get a giant payday, and then you're able to fit Ayuk in there.
Got the rookie
but this is, you understand that the business side that no one that it grinds on people, but it's real. And I think for Ayuk, man, if you're the 49ers, you're sitting there going, really, man? Like, this is the noise you want to make right now on a big social media post saying, they don't want me, man.
What do you do if you're San Francisco? So you're John Lynch. You're sitting in your office yesterday, and somebody comes in because you're probably, maybe you are scrolling, and somebody comes in and says, "Hey, John, see Brandon on social media?" No, man,
Messing around, man.
Yep, and it shows that you see that. Just sit back. You take your glasses off. You sit back and you say, like, what the bleep? What do you do now? So you're the front office, and I get it. Players, and I don't think this is prompted by an agent, but players are out there and they're doing what they do, and they figure somehow they're going to win public support by this, right? And that's going to put pressure on the club. And I'm sitting there, and this makes me less inclined. Even if I was inclined to give him a deal, or I was thinking about it this year before the season starts, because what you're saying, I agree with. Ideally, I'm waiting until after the season. Let's get through this, and then see what we can do, and we move on Debo and sign you. But I'm looking at this. I'm just going. I'm not going to be pressured in to breaking the bank on this guy after and they're going to go out and do this stuff. I'm just not. But what do you do if you're the GM?
So I get the play, but not this play, but from Ayuk and his agent of wanting that contract extension.
Of course.
Because he's going into the final year of his rookie deal. But then this is also where you have the back and forth, and you have to, as a franchise, stand your ground at times. And they've tried to take advantage of final years in deals. Like, that's the last place the player wants to be in, is a situation like this, where this isn't a guaranteed franchise tag type of deal. Like, he's got a nice base salary, but it is the final year of his rookie contract. But I think what San Francisco has shown their players, that they have faith in them and they will reward the guys that they want. They did the same thing with Deebo Samuel. Deebo went through this, had the offseason of uncertainty, held out for a while, and then got his extension. It feels like Ayuk is in that same track. He's just getting a little antsy with it.
Ayuk's in the final year, as JJ just told you, was it counts 14.124 against the cap. 14.124 million. I don't know how much he gets, how much he was paid up front, how much he still has coming. He last year, good year. Not great, good. 75 catches, 1,300 yards, 7 touchdowns. That's good.
This is the 7th leading receiver in the NFL.
Was he the 7th leading receiver in the NFL with those numbers?
In terms of yardage.
Okay. Slot him. I mean, is he Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Justin Jefferson?
No.
All right, where is he?
Whatever that
is, he on the next
second
shelf?
tier? And I think the challenge is San Francisco, the way they're built, they can't. I think the reality is Ayuk's not one of those guys, and San Francisco can't pay that contract anyway.
Even if they want to. Yeah, I mean, there's a cap.
With what they're paying Bosa, what Purdy's going to get, Christian McCaffrey's extension in the next 2 years.
Again, man, I'm sitting in the front office. And I'm like, I'm looking at this. My answer is no. And this doesn't help you. You negotiating on TikTok and through media and social media isn't helping. I don't play that. You want to hold out? Don't get paid. That's cool. Now, the advantage a player has, a JJ, when it says it counts 14 point whatever towards the cap, I'm going to assume he's probably only getting about 5 or something this year, that they got a lot of money up front. Right? And that's where they're coming from. And that's where people forget. I only have this much coming. Yeah, but you got all this money up front. We front loaded you. Like we saw.
I'm not. That is one. I'm not sure how a rookie deal
I'm not
works
sure how
with.
that is. Who did we see got 88? Was it Trevor Lawrence the other day? Got $88 million when he signed?
Yeah, signing bonuses are crazy.
God. You know what I'm saying? Sign here and we'll cut you a check for $88 million after tax or before tax. It's a different. What did somebody tell me the other day? Same planet, different world. Bobcat was in there, and he's like, "Yeah, we live on the same planet, but it's different."
Yeah, you try to in San Francisco. I think we can all see the path what they're trying to do. From a player, you don't want to have that uncertainty after this season, but like San Francisco is just taking a step back, going, man, if this plays out, where you go through this season with Debo, Ayuk, CMC, Kittle, Purdy, and then you're able to get into next year, move some stuff around, probably re-sign Ayuk, you have Ricky Pearsall, the first-round pick this year, which you then hope kind of becomes your number 2 with Purdy. Like, the path is there, but are the players going to be willing to take that path?
Yeah, man. They don't want to fit in. They want somebody else to fit into the salary cap and pay me. Let the other guy fit. Chargers gave Ladd McConkey, by the way, an agreement. He's their rookie. NFL Network saying 4-year contract that gives him the most guaranteed money in NFL history for the 34th overall pick. He ended up getting more guaranteed money than Sam Laporta, who was the 34th pick last year. Christian Watson, Michael Pittman, Donovan Smith are other number 34 picks. He's been evidently incredibly impressive in camp, and they love Ladd McConkey. So when you're going through your fantasy draft, late in the draft, what are you shaking your head about?
Right now, Ladd McConkey's ADP is about 7th round.
Is that right?
Yeah. So much for a late round player.
Find him in the 6th. Is he the number 1 there now? Number 1 for the Chargers is a big deal.
I think if you're looking at Ladd wide receiver 3 flex, if you can get him like that, if you feel really good about your top receivers, he could be an impactful player in PPR leagues.
Well, if you don't, you're down there, and you're like, even if you need number 2, you better get number 2 before that. You're a big wide receiver guy. Don't worry about running backs.
Wide receivers win fantasy football.
Ladd McConkey. All right, when we come back, the number to get in is 505-246-0610. He wants his wins back, and he's willing to sue to get them. Oh, the Mad Hatter. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM at AM 610 Sports Town.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight. Boom. Boom.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with three-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Órale, vato. It's a championship in Beantown, the 18th time the Celtics hoisted the trophy. Not always the Larry O. It was the Larry O, I think, since the 80s. But the trophy nonetheless. It's the opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. Glad you're with us on a Tuesday. You're on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal. Final score last night, 106-88. Celtics dominated the Mavericks last night. They dominated them for much of the series, and they win their 18th banner. Jason Tatum, 31, 8, and 11. That's 8 rebounds, 11 assists. And Jaylen Brown, your MVP, 21, 8, and 6. Luka Doncic had 28 points for the Mavericks, who will go home and lick their wounds, get healthy, and regroup. JJ, before we get into the other story, we talked about a dynasty. And I told you earlier, I'm not ready to eat that yet. I don't know that I believe that this is a dynastic team, although it's got the makings because they've got young stars. I just believe the league is so balanced. I believe there's so much else in the league and so many other teams that are good and could be close that it's going to be hard for them to win a couple in a row or 3 in 5 years. What are the Mavericks? You always talk about the winners and are they coming back? And I thought that everybody, well, not everybody, there was a really big swell of support that people thought the Nuggets were going to win again this year. And obviously they fell short the second round. What are the Mavericks? Do you expect them to be back to this point next year? Because I don't know that a lot of people do when you look at the West and there's LeBron and AD and the Lakers. Well, yeah, whatever. There's the Nuggets. There's the young Wolves. There's the young Thunder. Do you expect the Mavericks back in the championship next year?
No, not next year. I think Luka will have another NBA Finals appearance in his career. Like, I do believe he's that good. I still think the conversation, top 5, whatever, 7, 8 players, like when you're starting a franchise, Luka Doncic is one of those guys. And what they did in the playoffs this year was fantastic. And the fact that they looked better against Western Conference that we thought was deeper, but then looked like this against Boston, it just reinforces Boston was that much better than everyone else in the NBA. And for Dallas, though, it is an eye-opener of, okay, you have a good enough 2 with a 3 that can compete in the West, but they have to find a better third option to allow P.J. Washington to be just kind of that 4th scorer on their team. I think Lively is going to improve in the middle, have a bigger impact, be a bigger part of that rotation. But that's what it comes down to now is can they find a way to find a legit third option for this team.
So where are they capitalized? Can they spend money? Because I look at the free agency thing. I mean, Klay Thompson fits everywhere, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Like if you put Klay Thompson coming off the bench there and he gets hot, they're pretty damn good, aren't they? As a shooter. Now, maybe there's not enough balls to go around. I always wonder what fits well with him. Because the ball is so dominant. Now I got Luka and Kyrie. I mean, I don't even know how to construct that team. And I think they've done a hell of a job doing it. Derek Lively's been great for them. P.J. Washington was a terrific acquisition. Gafford's really good. Like, I like that. So what do they need to get over
that? They need more talent in that starting lineup.
Up front?
On the wing. They need the wing player.
Okay.
Because that was evident that they didn't have like P.J. Washington did not do anything in this series.
No, he was good
and
all
they didn't
playoffs.
like even a number 4, because right now the NBA, like the Celtics are the outlier with, then you can have a Jrue Holiday game and a Kristaps Porzingis game, but the trend is you have like your 2 studs really across the board. Each team has their 2 studs, and then your 3rd or 4th option. And Dallas, the 3rd option was PJ Washington, who was really good in the Western Conference, ran into a brick wall against the Celtics. So that's what I'm looking at is there another wing player you can bring in? Because, Derek Jones, who started on the wing for them, he's not a good enough shooter. And that's what you need when you have Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic on the floor.
Yeah. Terry sent a text that's really interesting and talking about the front office and how important management is of the front office. When you think of Bob Myers' run as the general manager of the Warriors and how many great moves he made, and we were just talking about how the Mavericks were constructed. Terry says how management can determine the success of a franchise. Compare the Celtics' good decisions over the last 10 years versus the 76ers' bad decisions. And a lot of it's luck, man. You got to get lucky a little bit, don't you think?
There's an element to that, but if you're the 76ers, you couldn't make it work with Jimmy Butler. And then you see him what he has done in Miami. You're like, well, that seems like the perfect dude for Joel Embiid, and that's why all of a sudden the stories came out that Philadelphia would offer Butler whatever he if he wanted to come back to Philadelphia. Tobias Harris was a swing and a miss. Guy they paid a lot, thought was going to be a number 3.
Who wants a lot more money again, doesn't he?
No, he's just an unrestricted free agent. So
I thought I saw something the other day where he was looking for another big deal. Why? What are we doing?
And then when they, James Harden.
How long has that process been now? 15 years? Trust the process?
10.
Is that all it is? Who was the coach before? Was it Brett Brown?
Brett Brown.
And who sat there and had no rosters, and they kept him around and kept him around while they were losing. And as soon as they started getting good, then they finally cut him loose. But I look at their roster too, man. The Bees making $46 million, but after that, they should have money. Tobias Harris is making $39 million, but you said he's unrestricted free agent, so he's going to come off.
Yeah, that's why they're in the Paul George conversation.
I think they got money. Paul George feels really good there, doesn't he? With Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid, all of a sudden you look at them and you're like, okay, that's a challenger for Boston, aren't they?
Yes.
A healthy Damian Lillard and a healthy Giannis Antetokounmpo, along with Chris Middleton, Milwaukee is a healthy challenger for Boston, aren't they? Which we expect next year. A healthy Damian Lillard and a healthy Giannis, right? Now, you got to figure out what they're doing coaching. As soon as Doc Rivers got there, I mean, that front office baffles me. Baffles me.
Milwaukee?
Yes. Baffles me. Because you got rid of Mike Budenholzer, brought in Adrian Griffin. Okay, fine. You won a championship and then didn't win. And you're impatient. Fine, whatever you're going to do. And then you fire a guy who's got the second best record in the NBA. And granted, it's hard to totally blow it all on Doc Rivers because of the injury, right? But they weren't good before they got injured. They weren't playing up. I mean, I look at a guy, dude, you've got Giannis, Middleton, and Damian Lillard. Your top 2 guys, Lillard and Giannis, or Giannis and Lillard, should be as good a top 2 as any in the league, shouldn't they?
Yes, and this is a lot on Giannis because he wanted that star. Like, you won a championship with Jrue Holiday and Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton, but it wasn't flashy enough.
All right.
So that's what led them to acquire Dame Lillard. And I don't know what the rub
it cost with Jrue Holiday, though.
Budenholzer, yeah. And so Giannis got Dame, but they did not get better as a team.
No, obviously not. And then they got hurt. And that's why I want to see this one more time. I want to see Milwaukee one more time. I want to give him a full run and get him healthy. Give me Giannis and Dame and Chris Middleton, and then whatever they're going to put around him with a young team. And I got to believe they're going to get a little young. Because you're telling me I'm starting with those three? They should be pretty damn good.
I think it's just 2 now. I think Middleton, has been but he's not been healthy the last 2 years, and that's a challenge. Like their third best player is Brook Lopez.
Can we get these guys healthy?
And I'm with you. I think that is the perfect example of you don't need to blow everything up after one season.
And that's why it goes back to the top of the conversation. Why I don't think the Celtics are going to go on a run, because I just think there's so much else in the East. And by the way, aside from the Porzingis injury, and Porzingis, can we be 100% honest? Porzingis is a really good player. He's a luxury.
Yes. It's awesome that they can do that. Like, if Porzingis doesn't get hurt, I don't think they have that night in Game 4.
If he doesn't get hurt, you don't think they get blued out?
Yeah. Like, I think it's like if they're that consistent with Kristaps, what he did coming back, and if he was able to play into it, but that I think everyone is just still in awe that the team that has Jaylen Brown, who became the highest paid player in the National Basketball Association,
who didn't make third team,
has Jason Tatum, was able to navigate their way into Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, which is great moves by Brad Stevens, but Porzingis is a luxury for them. But aside from the Porzingis injury, they were healthy right through the playoff. No other team in the East was. None, right? I mean, Milwaukee wasn't, and maybe Orlando was. But no other team in the playoffs in the East was healthy. Their best player, Miami's best player got hurt. Indiana's best player got hurt. Milwaukee's best player got hurt. Cleveland's best player got hurt. The Knicks' best player got hurt. Philly's best player was hurt. Everybody else was injured. So health is a big deal. That's what I'm saying with the Milwaukee thing. I want to see them healthy, because I think healthy Milwaukee gives them a run. I'm interested to see what is Philly going to add, because now it's time, man. I mean, if you're going to add a Paul George or Jimmy Butler or whatever you're going to add, it's time for Joel Embiid. It's now or never. And if they're healthy, they give them a run. That's why the dynasty thing. Look, I can see it. I think they're good. I don't believe it, because I just think there's too many other teams that are really good. All right, when we come back, I will tell you about this guy. I know I teased this going last week. But he wants his wins back, because vacated wins are going to keep him out of consideration for the Hall of Fame. And he wants them back so badly he's going to sue. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Hour.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. ProView Networks would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit HansWhitlerAuto.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Mirror here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. See your baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in Burkia. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and inner...
An NCAA infractions case. And so when they vacated their wins, JJ, it moved Les Miles officially below the threshold for the College Football Hall of Fame qualification. And so the lawsuit says that he was deprived of property rights to the vacated wins and his nomination for the Hall of Fame, which must be done by those affiliated with the NCAA member school. So history lesson. Back in 2003, LSU vacated 37 wins because of recruiting violations. It was impermissible benefits, which, by the way, is now funny, paid to the father of a former player by a former boozer. So the 37 wins dropped Miles' overall record from 145 and 73, a winning percentage of 665, to 108 and 70, down to 597. And coaches must have a winning percentage of at least 600 in at least 100 games to qualify for the College Football Hall of Fame. He's 70 years old. He's probably not going to get another head coaching job. He helped LSU to a national championship in 2007. He won 2 SEC titles at the school. He led programs at Oklahoma State and Kansas. JJ, I guess there's a couple of questions. Is Les Miles, when you think of Les Miles, do you think Hall of Fame coach?
Borderline.
Yep, I agree with that. And, boy, his numbers are right on the borderline. And when you take away all of these wins, like give him back 3 wins and he gets over the threshold. I don't know if he's got a case here or not. I honestly don't. Normally you get a feel on this. I feel for him, but do I? If the violations happen, and the violations are comical, when we live in today's world, and we hear what's going on, and you hear, well, they vacated those wins because this is the Reggie Bush stuff. The father of a former recruit got benefits from a former booster. I kind of lean towards him. If, in fact, they reinstated Reggie Bush's Heisman, it feels like there's what's the difference reinstating these victories?
Yeah, it feels like with a lot of the booster / benefit situations, like, can you imagine? You remember the shoe controversy that we went through in college basketball? And the players and the shoe deals and like the jail time that assistant coaches got
like Tony Bland
2-3 years
guys.
ago.
Yeah.
Like, how does all that stuff play out now? Like, can those same people be like, hold up, we need to erase this from my record because the way it is now?
How does it work, dude? Like, if you break a law, and when it was a law, you broke the law. Now, I know these are rules, not laws. But if you break a law, and now it's no longer a law, are you no longer a criminal? I know a lot of people who are in prison, in jail, on marijuana-related offenses are getting their records expired. Okay? Well, it's not illegal anymore, so let them go. Is it the same concept?
It's in that general area, especially I think what you pointed out with the Reggie Bush situation. That's why I think there's a lot more coaches other than even Les Miles.
Right.
That are going, oh, I think I should get some of my wins back now.
Well, and especially, I mean, it's a big deal for him. Like, there's money to be made when you're a Hall of Famer. It's a different. Every time you've met a Hall of Famer or they sign something, they sign their name and then HOF and the year, right? And for Les Miles, who fell just below the threshold, and he had 37 wins taken away from him, and for a rule that's no longer against the rules, for doing something that's no longer against the rules, allegedly, that he did back then, the Reggie Bush thing seems to be the precedent for him, and I think he's got a case here. All right, we got a sweet deal for you, and I know you're going to love this one. It goes on sale coming up at 9 o'clock. Go to our website. It's sportsanimалabq.com. You click on the sweet deal icon, and you are going to get $50 worth of gift certificates for just $25 at Cactus Brewing Company. Dana is here. What is up? It's good to see you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Well, so the small cup, I mean, it's good coffee.
Yeah.
When do we start drinking? Like, when you run a brewery, it doesn't have to be 5 o'clock. This whole 5 o'clock somewhere is garbage, isn't it?
Yeah, well, see, I'm brewing all the time, whether it's coffee or beer, I guess. So the moment the beer stops, the coffee kicks in.
How much when you're brewing? You got to sample.
Absolutely, quality control is a must.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Nobody would control the quality better than the guy who's controlling the quality.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Tell us about Cactus, because you got live music Wednesday through Sunday. Great beer, nationally recognized for quality pizza, best brewery staff, which, by the way, is big. That's got to be one of those where you're just as proud of that as anyone.
Absolutely. I mean, especially nowadays. I mean, people are complaining about service every day. Right? And costs have gone up, so you want the opposite. Like, you're paying top dollar these days for everything.
Yep.
And so it's important to have a really good time and be treated properly.
All right.
So we make that a priority.
Your place out in Bernalillo. And so
are.
if people haven't been there, or where exactly are you, and get people to your spot?
Yeah, we're the next exit just outside of Albuquerque. So people...
so the first Bernalillo going north.
Yeah, but we're on the frontage road, luckily. So basically, no matter where you are in Albuquerque, you can get to our space in 12 to 15 minutes. It's fantastic because we're right off the front road. We're right off the freeway. We're on South Hill Road. So the moment you exit to Bernalillo, you'll immediately exit onto the frontage road, and you'll find us down the road.
You got a website so people can look at it?
We do, cactusbrewery.com.
That's with a K.
Yeah, Kaktus. It's spelled the German way because all of our equipment came from Germany.
Is that right?
So we have a big.
Does cactus mean the same thing in German? Is it?
It does, just cactus. Yeah.
But it's just spelled Kaktus.
Yeah, and I think they pronunciate it cactus.
I kind of almost like that better.
Cactus. Yeah.
I don't even know why that sounds better. It's cactus. What's your favorite beer?
Right now, it is our Paleontology Pale Ale. It's my favorite beer. But our best seller happens to be our Helles Lager. My favorite on tap.
How'd you get into this?
Just by chance, actually.
Really?
Good relationships, good partners, and just by chance. We started in a 2-car garage.
It's kind of how that works, huh?
Yeah.
I started brewing beer, and I'm like, wow, it's pretty good, and I think we could do this for a while.
Yeah. Now we're 10 years running. Tons of employees, and we're growing every year.
That's so cool. This is a great one, and boys and girls, I don't know how you look at it. If I pay $25 and I get $50 worth of something, that sounds like $25 worth of free beer to me. And I've never met anyone, Dana. Well, that's not true. I've met a few people whose favorite beer is not free. And you're spending $25, you get $50. That sounds like free cockatoos to me.
Yeah, it does.
Doesn't
me
it?
too. I think you hit it right on.
It's all right. One more time, let people get there. You're going north out of Albuquerque. You're going to Bernalillo.
Yeah, so just past the tramway exit, and then the very next exit will be your first Bernalillo exit, and you'll jump onto South Hill Road, which is the frontage road.
All right, and the website is Cockatoo.
Yeah, cactusbrewery.com. Kakus.
Yeah. All right, it's your sweet deal. It goes live on our website. Go at 9 o'clock, sportsanimалabq.com. Click on the sweet deal icon, and you will see it there. It is Cactus Brewery, or as it shall forever be known, Cactus Brewery.
Yeah.
And it's $25 gets you $50, and you're going to love the pizza. You're going to love the staff. You're going to love the atmosphere. Oh, and you will love the beer. Get yourself out there and enjoy it. Dan, it's always good to see you.
Likewise. Thank you so very much.
Oh, thank you for being here. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
This report is brought.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Hans Whitler Automotive, German car maintenance and repair in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Call 505-294-7684 or visit hanswhitlerauto.com.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Evergard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543. We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you.
I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
Teenagers love a party, especially.
Before that, Kenny Thomas will be here coming up at 9 o'clock this morning. The NBA championship is determined yesterday. Celtics 106, Mavericks 88. Celtics win the series 4-1, and they will hang another banner. If you woke up this morning and heard Jeff Van Gundy's name kicked around in Los Angeles, you probably perked your ears. Wait, what? Jeff Van Gundy's going to be a coach? Yeah, he is. Jeff Van Gundy, according to Woj, the Woj bomb, is going to LA to be a coach. It's not the Lakers. He's going to be Ty Lue's assistant, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Which, again, the irony is not lost on me. They're scuffling down the hall, going through the James Borregos, and nothing wrong with James Borrego. I think James Borrego's a really good head coach. JJ, your brother in name, JJ Redick, might also be a really good coach. Do you think they ever lobbed a call to Jeff Van Gundy and said, hey, are you interested in coming to LA and being a head coach? Because Jeff Van Gundy feels like, wow, that would have been if they're looking for a home run and, oh, by the way, a really good hire, he might be that guy, and you're out.
It seems like it would be a good spot for Jeff Van Gundy, too, because I don't think Van Gundy is necessarily looking for something for 10, 15 years. And that's not the way the league works. Go have your fun with LeBron James for a couple seasons, maybe see if AD can do something for a year or two after that. But you also wonder for, Jeff Van Gundy, all the work he's done, the 16 years in broadcasting, was able to kick back. went front office work last year with the Celtics, now top assistant in the Clippers. Maybe that's just what he wants at this point. Because if he wanted a job, don't you think that story would have been given to Woj or Shams or something and be like, Jeff Van Gundy looking for a head coaching job?
Yeah, I do. But I still would have lobbed him a call and see if I can convince him. And I don't know, man. Everybody's got a number, and if you threw 6 years, $70 million at him, I mean, I don't know. Maybe they did lob him. Maybe they did have that conversation, and he just said, "Yeah, no, it's not my thing." Maybe, but I just look at again a Laker franchise that we're sitting here a week before the draft and is still scrambling to figure out what it is they're going to do, and down the hall, Clippers just brought in a dude that I think is going to be. I mean, that could be a difference maker. I don't know if this is analogous. Maybe it's not. Doesn't Steve Alford seem like a better coach with Craig Neal on his bench? Dave Bliss had Doug Ash for 25 years.
They work together. Like Craig Neal's a better assistant than head coach. I think Steve Alford was fine at UCLA.
He was fine at UCLA. Yeah, and I guess he's fine at Nevada. Yeah, maybe that's not enough. But you throw another really, really good, respected basketball mind on your staff, and that doesn't mean whoever Ty Lue.
There's a reason that there's like those guys get jobs. Like Darvin Ham immediately went with Doc Rivers.
Yeah, he's in Milwaukee.
And this is a fascinating one. I'm sure there's a connection with Ty Lue and Van Gundy that's not popping off the top of my head.
Well, evidently they're tight. I mean, according to Woj, they got a great relationship, and the Clippers have been after him for years, and so they finally got him. And for Van Gundy, it's probably perfect. I mean, what does an assistant coach in the NBA make? $1 million? $1.5 million? That's probably good living, and I'm sure he's got plenty of money. Probably pretty good living. Well, Jeff, he's got to live in LA, and he's all, people make it sound like a sentence to have to go live in LA. I mean, that's why the most populated state in the country, because it's so horrible. By the way, see the odds for next year's NBA championship. The champions are the obvious; they're the front runners, plus 300. Did you see the odds already? See who's number 2 and 3?
Yes.
All right. Nuggets second pick right now. Minnesota, Oklahoma City, then Milwaukee. If you like the money, the Knicks are plus 1,500. If you're looking for value.
I like Milwaukee and OKC 10-1.
I love Milwaukee at plus 9. Love it. Oklahoma City's really interesting too. Clippers at 20 plus 2,200.
How do you think the Olympics plays into next season?
In regards to what?
Because these dudes are going to be right back on the court.
Here in about a month. Yeah.
Now Luka at this point is non-committal. But the Team USA.
Well, it's not just
trying
Team
to,
USA,
but I mean,
too.
Team USA is throwing all their guys out there because they've lost 6 games over the last couple of years, and that team doesn't lose. But then, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander leading Team Canada, Jokic on the floor, Giannis trying to qualify with Greece, Joel Embiid playing for Team USA.
So is the team already announced? Is this the team right here? Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis. Is that an old team?
No, that's the team.
All right, so this is your roster. Bam Adebayo, Devin Booker, Steph Curry, Anthony Davis, Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Halliburton, Drew Holloway, LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, and Jason Tatum. Steve Kerr's your head coach. Mark Few, Tyronn Lue, and Eric Spoelstra are his assistants. Pretty strong. I mean, what don't they have? They kind of have everything. So how does it play? I'm going to guess maybe you get a little bit more load management early in the season. Maybe guys take it easier in camp. Because it's, an extra month of basketball now, right? Between training camp, playing friendlies. Some of there's some older guys on there.
Yeah, it's an older roster for Team USA.
You got some older guys on there. Nikola Jokic is evidently playing. Yeah, I think, does it affect it? I don't know, man. Guys rest as long as nobody gets hurt, right?
Team Serbia led by Jokic.
Luka hasn't decided, correct? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because Luka actually, I believe that they're one of the teams that still has to go through another qualifier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're not in. Same thing with Giannis in Greece.
Who else does Giannis play with? Like Giannis and a bunch of Greek dudes?
Giannis and all his brothers.
That's probably totally right.
It's a team.
There's Giannis and Tobias. What are the other Antetokounmpos?
Thanis.
Well, he's got one on his team, right? But yeah, that's actually really funny. Who's playing? Well, there's a bunch of Antetokounmpo.
Yeah.
His brother's name is, you're right, Thanis. How much do you think Thanis made last year if he dragged along?
$1 million bucks?
$2 million. $2 million.
Oh, yeah. You look at. It's just put a bunch of syllables together, and that's the Greek team.
You want to do play-by-play, do you?
I don't know about the Olympics.
You want to do play-by-play, do you?
Goodness.
Have you ever done Hawaii? Have you ever called a Hawaii game?
I've not called a Hawaii game.
When I did Hawaii football, and I've done probably 4 or 5 of them, I mean, that's an extra full day of study.
Dude, football is nuts.
Yeah, that's an extra full day of study.
Like basketball, solid.
Yeah.
5 versus 5.
Yeah.
When I did that UNM UMass game.
Yeah. It's people think it's easy, man.
You got your chart, and then UMass had 2 quarterbacks get hurt. They put a true freshman that wasn't even on the roster into the game, and you're just like, what is happening?
JJ, you've seen me come in here on a week before, or at least on Monday, with those damn charts. And I mark them up and said, people think it's easy to call play-by-play. Football, there's 22 dudes, but there's really more than 44 because they're rotating so many guys in and out. It's an art, man. The guys who are really good at it are really, really good. All right, expecting Kenny Thomas coming up at 9 o'clock. We'll talk with him about a whole bunch of the hoop stuff, and of course, the winners. I want to ask you this. Kyrie Irving, was that his last best chance at winning another ring, or does he get it? It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Center.
This report is sponsored.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Sprout, get ready.
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As New Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Pull together.
To make New Mexico the best place to be a kid.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
Hi, I'm Steve Stunker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Sweet Rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of...
So they're going to have a big old party in Boston, parade and all that. Dallas, it's back to covering OTAs and Dak's contract. And when's training camp start? Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and J.J. Buck. J.J. Kyrie Irving is 32 years old. I believe him to be in his prime of his career. He had a really, really strong postseason. I think a really, really strong season. Seemed to find himself in a comfortable place. He's won a championship alongside LeBron James early in his career in Cleveland. Will he win another? This feels like this was his best chance to get a second NBA championship. I know there's been talk about him trying to get to LA and pair with LeBron again. I don't know that that's going to happen. This feels like this was his best chance. I don't know that he gets a better chance.
The talk's from LeBron. Kyrie's happy in Dallas.
I think that's right.
I think Kyrie is in a solid place. For whatever you think of him, I believe what he says when he wants to stay and grow with this Dallas team. And I can't say no because I think Luka Doncic is getting back to the NBA Finals, and I think that could happen in the next 3 to 4 years.
Okay, so you think there's a real good chance he wins it? I'm not sure. I do. Luka's so interesting, and Luka as a talent should win. And we had this conversation earlier this morning. It bothers me because I don't know. And if the people who are complaining about his conditioning and his work ethic and all those things, if you know something, then be specific. I'm struggling doubting Luka simply because his body is not cut like LeBron's or he's just an Adonis. He's not Jaylen Brown. I watched Nikola Jokic with a very similar type of a body win a championship, didn't I? I guess the Kyrie conversation is tied to Luka. Does Luka win? And if so, then Kyrie probably gets one, right? And you think so in the next 2 to 3 years?
Well, yeah, I think Luka Doncic will have another NBA Finals appearance.
Okay.
Thus,
well, you get there, you got a pretty good chance to win, right?
Giving you an opportunity to get it done.
I mean, you can't win one if you don't get there. And I know we got cut off by the break last year. Where are you on that talk? Because it bothers me. People, it's so easy to say, well, look at him. He needs to get in shape. I don't know, man. Dude played a lot of minutes, and he was injured, knee injury, chest injury.
I think every athlete goes into the offseason with a specific mindset, and maybe Luka's this year, all right, it could be strength. So to me, it's not he doesn't have it or it's not good enough because he made it to this point leading, was it points, rebounds, assists, and steals the entire postseason? So you can't just fake your way to those numbers.
I think that's right. That's why it bothers me a little. I mean, I'm not the hugest Luka fan, but I look at it and say, I just can't believe that guy got to be as good as he is without having some sort of really good work. All right, 505-246-0610. Kick it with Kenny when we come back. Kenny Thomas, the former Lobo great, is going to be with us when we come back. Talk to him about the NBA Finals. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hey, look, it's Dwight Goodman.
This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom. Boom.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
These days, it's important to know people and businesses you can trust. There's a lot of places where you can buy a vehicle, but there's only a few local dealerships where you'll find honest people who have your best interests in mind. And Fiesta Kia is one of them. We've been helping our neighbors save money and drive dependable cars for years, and we'd love to help you. With new Kias arriving daily, you'll love our selection and the peace of mind you'll get driving a Kia from Fiesta. So stop by and see us today at Fiesta Kia on Lomas, or just start driving now at fiestakia.com.
AM 610, the sports animal.
Well, we got an NBA champion. It's the champion we kind of knew we were going to get for the last week. Maybe you knew it all year long. They were the best team in the NBA all season. The Boston Celtics beat the Mavericks last night, 106-88 in Massachusetts. They win the final series 4 games to 1 and will hoist their 18th banner in Boston. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. We are kicking it with Kenny and joined by former Lobo great 11-year NBA veteran Kenny Thomas. Good morning, Kenny Thomas. How you living?
Man, I'm good. What's up, fellas?
Right.
How's everything going?
You all right? You get some coffee yet? A little, Barelas yet? Nothing? Tired?
No, that's this Friday.
Oh, that's just Friday?
No, man. I mean, is this my last time on, or do I get Friday
I
too,
think it's
Jeff?
Friday.
Friday? Okay, it's my last week.
Yeah, we'll
Okay, so
celebrate
Friday.
that, so we'll have a big party.
That's that. Hey, man, I'm down because Bob Clark asked me to come in on Friday. He wants to talk about Greg Brown.
Yeah,
Greg Brown
and
passed away.
let's start there. I was going to hit you on that later, but since you brought it up, man, the former Albuquerque High star, former Lobo great, he was 51 years old, passed away in a car accident on Friday. This one shook everybody, Penny, and I know you knew Greg.
Man, Greg, man, we go all the way back. Obviously, Greg Brown is older than me. He went to Albuquerque High, won a state championship, and then he was one of the shortest guys to do big things at UNM. Greg was in the process. I think he was moving to Atlanta with his daughter, and my basketball guy, Josh Kearns, was talking to his daughter about doing some stuff with AAU because I haven't told you this, but I actually started a girls' AAU basketball program. We have about 60 to 80 girls right now. It's called Zia Sports, brought to you by KT Legacy. But he was driving back, man, and unfortunately, it was one of those things. He fell asleep. That's what they said. I'm just happy his daughter wasn't with him because I think she was supposed to be coming back with him.
So he was on his way back from Atlanta? That's the story?
Yeah, he was coming back from Atlanta, from what I heard, and he was driving and he fell asleep behind the wheel. Yeah. And then it's unfortunate about Drew Gordon. I would say the last month, man, these car accidents have been kind of crazy.
I didn't know the details on that. And this one hit hard just because, and you get it. This is not belittling the passing of Drew or Ruben Douglas, but a guy who grew up here, played high school ball here, and continued to be a big part of this community. This town's taken this one really, really hard, and I know the Lobo alumni. This one hit different. It's something else. All right,
it hit totally different. Yeah.
All right.
I mean, they all did. I mean, Ruben, he impacted the game from a different perspective on the offensive end. Yeah, I heard he was down in, I think, Costa Rica, and then you know how that is down there. There's not a lot of means or whatnot as far as living and different things. So, yeah, man, it's been pretty bad the last year?
About a year and a half. Well, about a month and a half. Literally, it's all been within the last month and a half. 3 of them.
It's unbelievable.
He's Kenny
Thomas.
Thomas.
Maybe UNM should do something with some of those guys' names or something. Yeah, I think something should be done.
Well, when you go into this new season, right, losing 3 legends like that, let's hope we're done. Something. Kenny Thomas is with us. All right. Finals last night. Put it into perspective what the Celtics done and who the Celtics are.
I mean, it's one of those games, right? I mean, it's one of those series. From the standpoint of, I mean, we all knew Boston was going to win that series, but I totally just wanted to see a better series. I thought Dallas would put up a better fight because of having 2 guys that can actually put the ball in the basket on a consistent level. But Dallas, man, they didn't have any. Luka and Kyrie didn't have any support on the offensive end, and then it was just hard for Dallas to even try and score. And then there was a lot of one-on-one on Dallas's side, even though Boston did some one-on-one opportunities, but they have too many weapons on the floor to where if Boston had a mismatch and had a big man on them, on one of the guards, then you have to help and sag, especially if the guard's going to get in the paint, right? Then that just opens up the perimeter more. White, great role player for Boston. Obviously, Brown, man, it's next level. If he didn't get MVP and Tatum did, I mean, that would have been insane. But Brown totally deserves that MVP trophy.
Kenny, what's it like playing with all those expectations on you? Yes, Boston was the best team, but they had to live up to that expectation. They had to go out there and prove it on the court. What's that mindset like?
Well, I think with Boston winning their last one in 2008 with Paul Pierce and those guys, I think that was big because being in Boston, I mean, the tradition is there, right? They just had 17 championships. I think it's 18 now. So the squad that Boston has the last couple of years, they should basically have like probably 2 championships right now. But it didn't go that way for them. So, man, the NBA, everything has to be perfect, and everything was perfect for Boston, and then they stepped up to the plate. Everybody thought I was crazy because they didn't understand why Boston blew that game the way that they did in Dallas. I think it was game 4. And then being able to go back to Boston and win at home is the best feeling because you're at home, and then there's a whole different type of celebration, and that's what the city of Boston got. And I mean, the Celtics were a better team this year overall, but they did. I mean, if you put it like this, everybody probably expected the Celtics to play somebody that was a little bit more better on the offensive end, but it just didn't go that way. They ended up playing Dallas. I wanted Mark Cuban and his team to actually put up a bigger fight, but that wasn't the case.
When you look at the Dallas Mavericks, how do you feel about Luka and Kyrie over the next couple of years? Do you think they're a squad that will get another chance in the NBA Finals?
Well, I think they should keep the squad together. I think they just they need to keep them both together, and there's probably some pieces that they're lacking. Luka is a guy that's always had the ball in his hands. Do you move him to the 2? No, you don't. I mean, and then what do you do with Kyrie? Kyrie's used to having the ball in his hands. But I feel like that. I think he's a guard, a young guy. Williams, I think his name is. He's going to be a great addition if they can keep him. And then obviously likely he's good. And then the other big guy that had the headband in the middle for Dallas was pretty good. I just feel like they might need like another person that can actually play defense at like the guard position because the lack there is of defense from Kyrie and Luka.
Let me ask you about Luka. Do you think the narrative is fair? People are saying he's got to worry about his conditioning. He's got to get more in shape. And I'm like, man, what do you know that I don't know? Does he not work out? He was playing 40 minutes plus a game. He's got a bad knee. He's got a chest contusion. He's taken the needle to play. I need to know that that's really true. It just sounds like a really lazy narrative. Some dudes, Kenny, and you know this, some dudes don't look like LeBron and Jaylen Brown and don't have these chiseled bodies. And to say he's lazy, I don't know. Is that fact, or is that just an easy narrative because you look at a guy who might be a little doughy, but man, he got to be pretty damn good at basketball, and I'm going to guess he didn't fall out of the womb that way.
No, he didn't. Man, the way that Luka can score is insane. But it's going to come down to commitment and dedication, right? To play on both sides of the floor. There's a couple times towards the end of the third quarter to where there's a couple 50-50 balls that he could have probably gotten if he would have just taken a little bit more time, taking a little bit more upon himself to be committed on the defensive side. It's a matter of desire. He's 25 years old. He does spend a lot of his energy on the offensive end, but if he could commit a third of that to the defensive end, who knows? But man, you got to keep in mind some of these guys that are all-stars don't play defense. They don't play both ends of the floor. It doesn't happen very often when you have the Michael Jordans or the Kobe's or the LeBrons, and those guys play both ends.
All right, Dynasty. Is that? I'm not ready to talk Dynasty yet because I think there's so many good teams, not just in the East. A healthy Milwaukee, I want to see. I want to see what Philadelphia adds. I want to see what the Knicks add. I'm not ready to say they can go on a run of 3 out of 5 with the Celtics. Where are you with that? Because there's a lot of talk.
I totally agree with you, man. We're on the same page there. You brought up some good teams, especially the Knicks, man. if the Knicks would have had a couple pieces, like if they would have had their big man in the middle, I forgot his name.
Julius Randle?
Julius?
Yeah, Julius Randle.
Yeah, if they would have had Julius, then that's a whole different series, right? And then Milwaukee, they just had a bad year, but they're going to come back and be even better. My Sixers, I mean, you could flip a coin with them, but I feel like they're going to probably add a couple pieces as well. I really do feel like Boston still needs a couple more pieces, and their bench is pretty good. But if they can add some more guys that can play defense and not and I would say not so offensive minded, but yeah, defense.
Because you don't like Porzingis, that's why you don't think they're better.
No, I do not.
But
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, but he's a luxury, and he's healthy. Their bench, dude, they're so deep right now. And if Al Horford comes back, you start Brown, Tatum, White, Drew Holiday, and Porzingis, and bring Horford off the bench. They're pretty damn good.
They're stacked. I would start Horford, but okay. But I get it. Porzingis has to start, right? But Al Horford has been a great addition there, and it's about time he got a championship. And it's gonna be interesting to see what happens next year, because there's some teams in the East, like you said, but there's some other ones out there in the East that can be a little creepy, right? That can actually, I feel like if they had a couple pieces that they need, that they could be better. I feel like the Bulls are up and coming too.
It's an interesting one too. All right, Kenny Thomas is with us. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into the draft is next week. The Lakers don't have a coach. Jeff Van Gundy's got a job, so we're going to talk about some off-season stuff next. Kicking it with Kenny, the former Lobo great Kenny Thomas is with us on 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
A burglary takes place in the United States approximately every 15 seconds. International Protective Service is your answer for commercial and residential security in all of Albuquerque. IPS will work with your monitoring company for fast, reliable response times. You can rest easy knowing you, your family, or your company is watched over by International Protective Service. Call International Protective Service today.
For your surprisingly great rates, contact your local State Farm agent today.
If you want the real deal, call State Farm agent Marty Size in Albuquerque today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
If you're drunk, blasted, intoxicated, ripped, plastered, destroyed, bruh. If you're like this, you shouldn't be driving.
Young driver, this one. Hard to get her out. She'd been drinking. This one. Both of them gone. They'd been drinking, and he drove clear off the road. This was my family. Drunk driver hit us. And my wife and our daughter, they didn't make it.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
Hi, my name is Daniel Chavez, and this is my business partner, David Chavez. We are the owners of Indeed Safety. Indeed Safety is a local safety consulting company helping our clients with their safety needs for their projects.
One of the things we pride ourselves as a construction safety company is helping our men and women in construction get home safe every day to their families. Indeed Safety is a proud supporter of ProView Network.
We aren't all born with the same opportunities. But it's the people who care that change everything.
Get ready, Spout, get ready!
My coach, my teacher, my older sisters, my grandma, my brother, my tutor, my dad, and my mom.
As Mexicans, it's up to all of us to do our part.
So that no child goes without love.
And no family has to do it all on their own.
They're all our children. Every single person is called to make a difference in the life of a child.
It's up to all of us to do our part.
To pull together.
Pull together.
Sports Animals. With Kenny, he'll be back in town. You know, big Kenny Thomas on the road. Entrepreneur, man, around the globe trotting, doing stuff everywhere. Joins us via the telephone this morning. Did you watch the U.S. Open over the weekend, by the way? You get a little golf in? I know you did.
Man, you know I did. Come on, man.
What'd you think?
Man, obviously, me and you, remember we thought Scheffler was going to be the guy that was up there, right? I mean, he was down in the middle of the pack. Last day, -7. Could not make a birdie at all. It was great because just being able to see two guys go at it and it come down to the wire, I was really stoked about it because, especially the U.S. Open is one of the biggest major championships there is, right? And then it was nice to see Tiger Woods out there, even though he didn't make the cut. But it's going to be an interesting summer to see how Tiger Woods comes back and adjust. And I feel like he's going to get that last win at some point. It's just a matter of when. I think he's in the process of trying to figure out his body still and work through some things. But it was great, man. Who did you actually think was going to win?
I thought Rory was going to win it. I thought Rory was going to win. I watched him coming down, and there's no way. If you told me Rory, JJ, what was the stat? It was 493 for 493 on putts inside of 4 feet this year?
496.
490, sorry. Almost 500 for 500. If you're going to tell me he's going to miss 2 putts inside 4 feet in the last 3 holes, I'd say
yeah, and then him, I mean, he's one of the guys that I actually respect and like a lot, Rory, right? Because of the way that he stayed with the PGA Tour. Rather than crossing over and going with the live situation. But even though the two look like they're merging and coming together, I love his character and I love who he is. And he needed one. He hasn't had one in a while.
A decade.
Excuse me?
It's been a decade.
Has it been that long? It doesn't seem like it because he's usually in the top 10, if not the top 5. But
yeah, he's always in the top
10.
Man. And he wins other tournaments, but he decides in there. All right, man. Hey, off-season hoop stuff. First and foremost, the draft is next week. The Lakers don't have a coach. And Jeff Van Gundy just signed down the hall of the Clippers as an assistant coach with Ty Lue, which is amazing to me. I said to JJ, I mean, did they not lob him a call? Does he just not want to be a head coach? Because Jeff Van Gundy, I mean, nothing against James Borrego, J.J. Redick, anybody else. Jeff Van Gundy feels like that would have been a damn home run for them.
Yeah, but now if you could tell, the coaching situations have kind of shifted, right? Like, what older coaches do you know that are still in the NBA outside of Pop?
Doc Rivers keeps getting jobs.
Yeah, Hey, I'm telling you, man, it's shifted to where guys are younger as far as coaching. I feel like Ty Lue is one of those smart coaches, obviously, right? Because he's won a championship and he coached in Cleveland and now he's with the Clippers. But being able to add a mind like a Van Gundy to your coaching staff is great. He's been there, he's done it. I was surprised when they got rid of some of the people that they did at ESPN, right? Like they had to cut and do some certain things. I did not think that Van Gundy would have been one of those guys, but he's landed somewhere. So hopefully things will be good for him with the Clippers.
At this point in time, we've waited, we've talked about it. Now the finals are over. Is J.J. Redick next head coach of the Lakers?
Probably. That's the way it's looking, right? I would rather see JJ with the Lakers than having our guy James go there. I'd rather see James in Cleveland. Hopefully he gets that gig over there. I don't want James to go to LA. I mean, call me selfish. I want James to get a job, but not in LA. No.
All right, free agents get to start talking. These guys like LeBron and Paul George and Klay Thompson can start talking with the teams with whom they finished last season. Do you see anybody moving? LeBron opting out, Paul George, Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is the one that's really interesting to me, where he ends up and what he's worth as opposed to what he may think he's worth.
Well, Paul George, if anybody's going to move, it might be him, but I would stay right where I am if I was him with the Clippers. I feel like Westbrook is probably one of those guys that's probably going to end up moving from the Clippers. But when you talk about Klay Thompson, man, that's a great subject because you gotta keep in mind Klay didn't show up at times, and Klay went to the bench, and then you have the coach that is actually bringing him off the bench, and which was a little surprising. But I think that was a wake up call. But Klay, he has a history of not showing up in the postseason. I feel like Steph and KD and some other guys kind of covered that up. But I feel like if Klay goes somewhere else, I don't think it's going to be good for him because he's not that go-to guy.
Okay, but what if he's the guy off the bench? You know, we're talking like, what are the Lakers? They need a guy who can shoot off the bench. Like, what if he's coming off the bench for the Lakers? What about the Nuggets? If he's coming off the bench for the Nuggets and giving them, 25 minutes a game of offense.
Those are some great teams. If I was Klay, I'd stay right where I am. But that's just me. I guess I am kind of a loyal person, I guess, when it comes to things like that. But him coming off the bench, is he going to be able to humble himself to be able to do that? That's the other part. Like, I don't know if he's going to be able to do it.
With the Warriors, isn't he going to have to come off the bench there? Like, he's going to have to realize what he is. He's had 2 major surgeries. He's 34 years old. He's not that same dude. Don't you think? And you've been there, not me, man. But at some point in your NBA career, you got to realize, all right, man, I'm not that dude anymore. How hard is it to adjust your mindset and accept? He's one of the best shooters we've ever seen in the league, ever. And he's not.
Yeah, he's a splash brother for a reason.
Yeah.
But with a guy like him, you could just tell his body language, his vibe. Like coming off the bench is not. It's not one of those things. Like, is he gonna man up and take it? Because he could go to those 2 teams like the Lakers or the Nuggets, right? And then he could be like the 6th, 7th man off the bench and come in and make a big impact. Like, if it was one thing for me to not be a starter, and I was a starter for like 7, 8 years out of my career. But then you have to come and you have to realize, hey, it's not happening anymore. So then you have to play a role. But a guy like him, he's going to make like 20 to 30 million anyway coming off the bench.
Yeah.
So,
Kenny, here's the deal. He's got to accept his role because I don't think he's going to be a starter. So you can go say, all right, go to the Washington Wizards and be a starter and make a couple extra bucks, or go stay with Golden State and come off the bench, or find a spot that you might be able to win another ring, and come off the bench and contribute. Right? I mean, what do you want to do? Do you want to be a starter for the Wizards, or you want to come off the bench for a contender?
That's what I'm saying. I totally agree with you. I'd rather come off the bench on a contender, but I don't see him swallowing his pride and doing that.
I don't know that he's going to.
So if he ends up leaving, I'm going to come back to him and be like, yeah, Jeff, you're right, because him going to the Wizards or something like that is terrible. And then within the next couple years, he's probably going to be traded and moved a couple more times, I think. Like the guy in Boston, I don't like Porzingis. Like, he got lucky and ended up on a solid squad, and the next thing you know, he gets a championship. But
he's pretty good when he's
Klay, I totally agree. Klay needs to shut up and stay where he is, I think. If not, go to, like, Denver or the Lakers, like you said. That is a contender. Or even, Minnesota.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man. We'll see you in studio. JJ will see you on Friday. You'll be back here.
Appreciate you guys. Yeah, I'll be in studio. This coming Saturday, I'm having a 3-on-3 block party with the city in the Bernalillo County at Tower Park. You can still register. Go to my Instagram or my social media, Kenny Thomas NBA. My guy Josh Kearns is setting everything up. His contact information is there. You can register for a couple more teams we got available, and it's free.
Free is
so
cheap.
Come out. It's free. The city's putting on an event with me this weekend.
All right, man. Good to hear you. Safe travels. We'll see you on Friday.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you both.
Later.
Talk to you soon.
Kenny
All right,
Thomas,
bye.
speaking with Kenny, the former Lobo great, and we'll wrap up those segments for basketball season on Friday this week, and then Kenny will probably be back coming in the fall for hoops. It's interesting. Yeah, the Klay Thompson conversation is interesting, and Kenny's perspective is better than ours, but we've never been there. But do you swallow your? Do you accept who you are, or do you say no? They're all wrong, and I want to prove it, and it's going to be that one's one of the most interesting to me of the offseason. 505-246-0610. JJ, when we come back, Rory McIlroy put out a statement yesterday after what happened at the U.S. Open. What he said in that statement, and what we do next as Rory takes some time off. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports House.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Seriously? You expect me to drive while you aren't wearing seatbelts?
What's the worst that can happen?
Seriously? Buckle up.
Text line 505-246-0610. It says, Jeff, RIP to a damn good former UNM Lobo. Says, so how about those Celtics? 106-88 game 4 for the first period and beyond. Celtics are just too explosive. Great game. Watched it all. Thanks, Jeff. John, I didn't know if it was a great game, which was, as DC just said out in the hallway, I wish it would be a little more entertaining. But really good team. The team was just way, way better than opening drive, Jeff Sabieta and J.J. Buck. Lobo Hobo says, it's been the most boring series ever, and TV ratings are reflecting that. I can't imagine things changed with last night's dud. And he sent me a link to some of the TV ratings. They're down 2%. Look, you guys, I don't know that 2%. It had 9.62 million viewers on ABC for Game 4. Game 4 was a blowout. Everybody tuned out, right? You guys, you can't go up every year. I tell you this all the time. Like sometimes, if you're down 2%, you still made money or still did. I'd like to see long-term numbers. People tell me, well, corporate earnings, their earnings are down 3%. Oh my goodness, no, they didn't lose 3%. They just made 3% less than they made last year. That's what the earnings down. People lose their money. All right, I want to get into this a little bit, JJ. The Rory McIlroy thing, and he put out a statement yesterday, and you could tell the dude was crushed. Feels like there's a lot going on in his life. I don't know what's going on. But he put out a statement on the Instagram yesterday. Said, firstly, I'd like to congratulate Bryson. He's a worthy champion and exactly what professional golf needs right now. I think we can all agree. But as I always do, I'll look at the positives of the week far outweigh the negatives. As I said at the start of the tournament, I feel closer to winning my next major championship than I ever had. The one word that I would describe my career is resilient. I've shown resilience over and over again in the last 17 years, and I will again. And he said he was devastated. And I know it bothered a lot of people, and I understand that Rory needs to stand there and he needs to take it. And he needs to talk. And there's a lot there, right? And you're not wrong. He just says, I reflect on my week. I'll rue a few things over the course of the tournament, mostly the 2 missed putts on 16 and 18 on the final day. But as I always try to do, I'll look at the positive. You good with his, he said Sunday was a tough day, probably the toughest I've had in nearly 17 years as a professional golfer. You okay with the statement yesterday?
Yes. Like, it's not one I'm not, doesn't make a lot of sense to, Rory was in a bad place, and we can never let people be in bad places because, you always have to live up to a certain expectation. And I think that was a moment for him that everything he's done, he didn't want to do it, and I think that's okay. Like in one moment, if it's different if he was doing this every week after every major tournament, it wasn't. That was, he explained it, the hardest loss of his career, because the way he reacted is he felt that he choked it away without using those words.
Yeah.
He gave it away,
and he did. JJ. I mean, that's
like it. We all watched it happen. The competitor he is in that moment, he was not able to or willing to sit there and eat it from the question. I think it's just, then you get into the sportsman stuff, should he have just been there to shake hands with Bryson DeChambeau, yada, yada, yada. And I think Bryson, though, he was, despite what he did when at the PGA where, he just went over and said, what's up to Xander. It's not like he has to be there.
Well, it was also different. He came from behind. He didn't miss two putts. He didn't blow the lead.
Yeah, so he didn't need to, like Bryson, I think was very happy with getting a trophy and then doing all the other stuff.
Yeah, I think Bryson lost PGA totally a different way than Rory lost the U.S. Open. Right, Rory came from ahead to lose. Bryson was trailing the whole time, and he needed somebody else to come back to him. It wasn't nearly as a painful loss as this was. This is, I put this, as far as losses, to me, this is right up there with the Seahawks losing the Super Bowl on the interception at the goal line, on the Malcolm Butler play. You think I'm over-exaggerating that? I mean, it was right there in his grasp. This is one of the most painful championship losses. You had it. And it was 4-foot putts that you just told me, 496 for 496. So, and I will tell you this also. Track record matters. Reputation matters. When Draymond Green flails an arm and it hits a dude in the junk, whether he intended to hit a dude in the junk or not, you say, dude can't stop hitting guys in the nads, right? Because he's got a reputation of doing it. You're not going to give him the benefit of the doubt. This guy has stood in front of the media and answered every question and been amicable in every situation, and there's not been a bad look by him other than, well, I don't like the way he waffled on the PGA Live thing. Well, really? They hung his ass out to dry. So has he been a little salty over the last year since the PGA didn't even tell him that they were going to do this Live merging, whatever the hell they're doing thing? And so, yeah, reputation matters. So does he get a pass? In my book, yeah, he kind of does. Because he stood there and he put out the statement the very next day and said it was a tough day, probably the toughest I've had in nearly 17 years of professional. And he said he's going to take a few weeks away from the game to process everything and build myself back up for my defense of the Genesis Scottish Open in Rome. So he's going to take, like, what's to me, what I'm hearing here, dude, there's a lot going on in my life, and this was just a dab. And I've got to find a way to process this, to get through it, to deal with it. He's putting his marriage back together, right? He just reconciled with his wife. There's the rumors that he's been out there with Amanda Balionis, who's now, she was posting all over Instagram this weekend, the Golf Channel reporter, whether that's true or not, whatever. Man, dude, obviously there's stuff going on in his life. And then a crushing professional defeat in front of the world where he puked all over himself. And he did, and it sucks. Bad look walking away, screeching your tires, getting out of there. Yeah. But you know what? I don't know. Reputation matters. He put out a statement yesterday. He explained it. He congratulated Bryson. Said that's exactly what golf needs. And with all due respect, man, and if you find this hypocritical, that's fine. But yeah, different guys get treated differently. Your reputation matters. When you've been around for 17 years and done everything pretty much the right way, and you get a crushing, devastating defeat like that, and you don't handle it the perfect way, and come back the next day and say, you know what, I'm going to step. I don't know, man. It's different than a guy with a bad reputation doing it again. I give him the benefit of the doubt.
I'm there with you. A one-off in the worst moment of his career, where the doubt's creeping in, and you can compete, you can play a high level, but probably even you're sitting there after that tournament going, is this ever going to happen again?
Yeah.
If I just went through that with a major championship at my fingertips and threw it away, what am I doing?
I guess the only way to try to normalize this or personalize this, whatever it is you do for a living, okay? I want you to think of what would the pinnacle be? Whatever that means. What would the pinnacle in your professional life? And you worked your whole, and for Rory, he's been there 4 times, but 10 years now you've worked, and it's there, man. You got it. All you got to do is finish, whether you got to just close that last deal or whatever it is you do. And you didn't get it, and you didn't get it because of something you did. It wasn't the other guy was better. You didn't make that 2-foot putt. You didn't do something that you do routinely. You got sloppy, and you know you didn't achieve whatever the pinnacle is in your professional career. You didn't achieve it because you didn't do something that you just routinely did. Oh, and by the way, the whole world saw it. How do you feel? Oh, and now go in front of the gaggle of reporters and talk about it. Well, Jeff, that's why they get paid big. You're right. He should have done it. But that's the only way I know how to put it in perspective of how the guy's feeling. Oh, and maybe there's also some crap going on in your life, and you're going through a divorce, but you're just kind of reconciling with your wife, and who knows what else is going on, because that's what he's dealing with. So I don't know, man. I call me soft if you want. I don't give a crap.
Soft.
I'm fine with it. When it comes to this, I lean to the human side of, I don't know, humanity. Bad look, yeah, and if it was a dude who did it all the time, I'd probably feel different. And we're going to have this conversation about someone else who does the same thing. And you're going to tell me, Jeff, but you look differently. Rory, yeah, I did. Because this is a dude who stood there every time. And by the way, he's lost a lot of these things, finished top 10, and almost won a bunch of times and answered every question every other time. Bad look on this one, no excuses. But yeah, I kind of give him a pass. I don't know. Is there another way you got a better way to humanize it or bring it, bring it to what you and I do? You puked all over yourself in front of everybody, and it's something that you've been working. I mean, this has been your goal, your professional goal for a decade, and you were there. And dude, you forgot to sign your name on the contract. Or you didn't make that last call to close the deal, or whatever it is, the top of your profession. Oh, and by the way, everybody saw it. And now they want you to sit there and relive it and talk about it. Bad look, shouldn't have done it. Put out a statement the next day. He'll be back in Scotland, and he'll address the media then, and he'll talk about it then, because that's going to be the first thing they ask him, and that's fine. And at that point, he'll be prepared to. Call me soft. I don't. It's the opening drive. We'll wrap it up when you get back. 505-246-0610. Everything you got to know as you go through what could be a Stanley Cup hoisting Tuesday on 95.9 FM and AM 690 Sports Hour.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, red and green chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier sweet rolls. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenprideabq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs are proud supporters of ProView Sports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Teenagers love a party, especially during prom and graduation season. Often, alcohol is involved. Some parents think that hosting a party with alcohol in their home will keep the kids safe, but it's wrong and it's illegal. As a parent, to allow your teenagers' underage friends to consume alcohol on your property is a felony. Parents who host lose the most. Don't be a party to teenage drinking.
This is a program of the Drug Free Action Alliance. For more information, go to burnco.gov/do-not-host.
We here at Clark's Pet Emporium welcome you to bring in your pets. We know that having your pet with you makes the experience of shopping for them even better. And we welcome you to bring your kids also. Clark's Pet Emporium, your pet's second best friend.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. International Protective Services is a proud supporter of ProView Sports and New Mexico Youth Athletics. IPS provides residential and commercial security services in the Albuquerque metro area. For more info, please call 505-897-2420 or visit internationalprotectiveservice.com.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team's going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Like me, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I get you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
Hi, I'm Steve Stucker here for Dr. Robert Melendez and the Juliet Eye Institute. You may remember me like this, but no more. The glasses are gone. I tossed them months ago because of a brand new procedure from Dr. Melendez known as RLE, Refractive Lens Exchange. The latest technology, the best eyesight I've ever had in my life, and you can check it out by clicking on the link in the description right here.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family.
Final Game 5 tonight. It will be the Panthers and the Edmonton Oilers. They went back to Sunrise, Florida. Cup will be in the building. If the Panthers win tonight, they will hoist the Stanley Cup. Celtics won last night, 106-88. The NBA Finals are done. Celtics win 4-1. They are the NBA champions. And Jeff Van Gundy has signed a deal to be an assistant coach with the LA Clippers. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck. Just talking about Rory McIlroy and his response yesterday. John, you want to talk about that? Good morning, John. You're on the Sports Animal. How you living?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about Rory choking it away. Everybody's not mentioning Bryson missed a short putt also.
Yep.
And that would have made it a tie. And Rory made some stupid long putts early on. So I really felt like, golf 72 holes, lots of things happen. That's what happened at the end. But Bryson won that. And I think Rory's a drama queen the way he handled it. He said, I would have just said, hey, that's golf, I got outplayed over 72 holes, and it's got to hurt. He's an athlete, but I just think.
Fair enough. So. Yeah, no, that's fair, John, and I appreciate that. Thanks for the call.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, and let's be straight now. They both made some really long putts. And to win one of these things, you go look back over it, and yeah, JJ, there was that hole on Friday or maybe it was Thursday, where Rory was putting. I don't know what hole it was. He was above the hole, put off the green, and then chipped in for par. So he stole a stroke there. Yeah, you can go back over 72 holes and look at balls that were left on the lips, and yes, They both made and John, I appreciate where you're coming from, and I think it's totally valid. And he choked. You could say he choked it away, and he's a drama queen. Right. I look at it. There's human. I'm going to take the body of work on this one.
A lot of it. I think about the scene in Game of Thrones, and it's what I don't know. It's just kind of the way we've become, especially when talking about athletes or something. It's just like, all right, you failed, so now you have to walk through the center of town with everyone yelling shame, shame, shame at you and eat it. Like, that's what we expect.
I asked you a question, and I don't know what the answer is, but I'm going to guess it's
like, you must sit there. We shall throw tomatoes at you and tell you are terrible.
Well, after a championship is won, do you look forward more to the winning press conference or the losing? Do you want to hear what the winner has to say after a big fight or after a championship, or do you want to hear what the loser?
Now, it is important how you handle things.
And
we've discussed this plenty in this process. And that's why I think this Roy one is really interesting, because you've been a big proponent, and you are right, of eating the mess when it happens. And Roy did not eat it. He ran from it.
Yeah, he did. And it's not okay. It's not. So I'm not excusing that. What I'm saying is I kind of give it a pass. I don't look at him and just go, like John said, I don't think he's a drama queen. Because I think he stood there and in your words, eaten it every other time. He's finished second, third, fifth.
And I guess what is that acceptable balance? I think for a lot of people, it's, we want that, you want that killer, you want that bleep off dude on the field, but if that happens to trickle over to any post game stuff, then oh my goodness, how dare you?
I guess the acceptable balance is if what is the trends tell? Right? What does he normally do? Is this a one-off for Rory? And I believe it to be a one-off. Right? What's the acceptable balance? If the most excruciating one, and he's not. I'm sure he's not proud of the way he handled it. But so what should you do? Should you, in your words, run him through the town square and throw tomatoes at him and yell shame at him? He stood there every other time, did he not? Well, Jeff, that's what he's supposed to do. You're right. I'm not applauding him for attaboy, but this time he did. And I guess people say, when someone shows you who they are, believe it. And I always struggle with that in some respects, because in their worst moment, is that who they are? You know what I mean? Like, who is Rory? Is he the guy that stood there every time and was super accommodating to the media every time? Or is, he finally showed you who he is. After 17 years, see, I told you that's who that guy is. He's the drama queen, as John says, who just drove off and couldn't stand there and face them. Or is he the guy who showed you for 17 other years who he is? You know what I'm saying? Well, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Believe which one? What am I supposed to believe? You know what I'm saying? So who is he?
I'm leaning more towards the guy that we've seen throughout his career. And that's why I do think it's bad. Like, these things are really interesting to me. I like the dynamics of it, and the amount of time that we have worked in sports. We see the other side a lot more. And it's, being on a bus post game after like a terrible loss, or just the emotions right after it. And when you do experience those things, it does allow you to kind of take a step back and think about these type of situations a little bit differently.
How many losing press conferences you and I have been? They suck.
Plenty.
They suck. But people want to see the carnage, right? Yeah. That's what. This is my whole point. Do you look forward more to the winning or the losing post game? You want to see how the losers handle it, right? When it's a big emotional, end of season thing or championship thing. And you and I have sat in enough press conferences where people just don't want to be like the players. How many of those Vegas press conferences, the coach will talk and the players, I don't know, we just didn't execute. They don't say anything, but okay, they stood there and they took it. Attaboy, you stood there and took it. But what you just want to hear? You just want to see the carnage? And I guess the answer is yes. Bad luck, I'm not excusing. I guess I just give it a pass because I think it's a one-time deal. Thanks to Kenny Thomas, who was with us. Jim Rome Show is next. Heard with Colin Cowards after that. 2 Men On is here at 4. Then you get Isotopes at Oklahoma City after that. We're back tomorrow morning on June 19th, Juneteenth, with award-winning radio starting at 7 a.m. Adrian, great work on the visual side. Big day for you, huh?
Huge day.
Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing. We'll smell you tomorrow.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you the business. Touchdown and pay you a visit.
I was born in New Mexico. I grew up on these streets. I got in trouble here, and I fought my way back in boot camp. I love New Mexico, especially the people. Now I'm using my training, tenacity, and energy to fight for you. I'm Adam Oki, lawyer, fighter, and New Mexican. I was a local athlete here in New Mexico, so I'm proud to support your local athletes.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. Everguard Roofing and Solar. For nearly 20 years, Everguard Roofing and Solar has been working with New Mexicans to enhance their homes and businesses. For all your roofing and solar needs in New Mexico, call 505-821-9543.
Hey, look! It's Dwight Goodman! Boom! This place is hot. Let's see if anyone needs my help. How about I drive you madman home, huh?
I got this, Dwight. I'm the designated driver. Boom.
Sweet. Does anyone need Dwight's help getting home tonight?
No thanks, Romeo. I've got a taxi all lined up.
Drive safe, Dwight.
Boom! Boom!
Albuquerque's leader in sports is ProView. From pros to prep, all your favorite action. All your favorite talk shows. Find it on ProView Networks.
What's going on, Lobo Nation? Ja'Cory Krosky-Miller here.
And I'm Devin Dampier. The Lobo football team is going through some changes, but we're here to stay.
We'll put in the work on the field and in the weight room, but we'll need your help off the field.
505 Sports Venture is leading the charge in the NIL space.
And you can be part of it.
Shorty, she better than all my intentions. Locked in, shorty, you got my attention. CEO, baby, I give you